YouTube, what is going on? Let's talk about some of the newest rumors and leaks regarding Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is a game I am super excited about, have definitely been keeping my eyes on, so look forward to making some content around that game. But before we jump into it, if you all please drop a like on the video, consider commenting what you think of Pokemon Legends Arceus, and subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and just talk about some of the leaks and rumors I've seen floating around on the internet. Now, as I'm sure you know, if you know anything about Pokemon Arceus, you know that this is more of an open world style Pokemon game, which I think is the only way the Pokemon franchise continues to evolve. You know, how many times can you play that traditional 8 gym leaders into the Elite Four? While it's great for, you know, nostalgia, gaming has changed, and it's much more about open world and multiplayer and that kind of thing. So I think this is a nice first step for the Pokemon franchise to get into more of that open world style play. So as we know that, I did want to talk about there are going to be some new forms. As we know, or has been rumored, I should say, there will be 17 new Hisuian, and if I said that wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm sure I totally butchered it. But there are going to be some new forms or variants, some of which we've already kind of seen in videos and whatnot. So that's good. Sorry if you can hear my dog rolling around. But we do know that there are going to be some new forms, which is fantastic. So we do know that some of these, there's going to be a Steel-type Dragon, Gudra, Voltorb Electrode probably getting something as well. The Hisuian starters are all going to have new variants, or potentially, right? It's all rumor, hearsay. So that would be pretty awesome if we got that. I think even in the trailer that they released, there were a couple that they showed. The Widear, and I want to even say the Growlithe, if I recall. I think that was a unique form. So again, that's pretty cool stuff. Definitely excited about some of those unique forms. But for me personally, I'm most interested in just an open world Pokemon game. I think that's something that, quite frankly, they probably could have done years ago. But, you know, hey, took them a while, but that's okay. We'll get it now. We'll enjoy it now, and hopefully it sells well and they can continue to make more. Now, this was something that came out Sunday, or 2 days ago, from the time of obviously making this video. But from Central Leaks, which is a pretty prominent leaker or somebody who shares information out on Twitter, it sounds like this is going to be the longest Pokemon game ever, which is awesome because a lot of the core Pokemon games, if you really grind it, you can beat it in a few days. Like if you really, get on it, and I mean, if you want to really optimize it, you could probably do it in 1 day if you wanted to. I do find it interesting that they're saying it's a hardcore game, where resource allocation is very important. Obviously, that's going to be different than the traditional Pokemon game, which, quite frankly, resources don't really mean anything. And yeah, you can get rare candies and that kind of stuff, but it really has very minimal impact on the game. So you'll have to buy item slots as you progress. Obviously, if you're picking things up and it's going to be a grind, that's going to be one of those things. I think of this as similar to buying like a larger bag in World of Warcraft, if you've ever played World of Warcraft. It's kind of one of those things that over time, right, it's a convenience, and it also helps because over time you usually need more bag space to carry certain items with you anyways. So they're also kind of hinting at, again, this gets back to the more hardcore resource allocation. If you pick everything up that you find, you're going to fill up your inventory. So there's going to have to be some decisions made, which I kind of appreciate, as long as there's a purpose to it. I don't want it to just be like monotonous for the sake of monotonous. When I say that, I think of like Animal Crossing's fish bait, right? It's silly that you have to craft those individually, right? It's hard enough to go and find all the little holes you got to dig up for the fish bait. So let's not make it like so monotonous, but I appreciate that if there is at least, some decision making, it's not, mindless like some of the old Pokemon games are. You just run down the predetermined path, you fight who's on your way, you get to the gym leader, and you keep going. So they are saying that this game is going to be very grindy. You'll have to find items to craft Pokeballs. I do think that's pretty interesting. Again, my one thing with this is I just hope that it's not a like such an unreasonable grind to get Pokeballs. Like I hope you have to get the stuff, but not like to the point where the game is just so monotonous because it takes 30 minutes to craft one Pokeball or something like that. I hope it's just, hey, you can find them as you go, but if you're not picking that stuff up, then maybe you don't get Pokeballs, right? Like what's that balance? That's kind of what I'm curious in. Obviously, like every Pokemon game, there's a final goal. In this one, it's to catch Arceus. In a lot of the others, it's to either catch the Legendary, beat the Elite Four. Those are kind of hand in hand. So that is kind of nice. Nice to read that shinies are shown as shiny in the overworld, just like Let's Go. So that is nice. If you want a shiny hunt, you don't have to encounter everything just to find out if it's shiny. I do think that's a nice value add for the game. But it does say, however, some Pokemon, even shiny ones, may run away when approached, which makes sense, right? If you spook them, hey, maybe they run away. I think that's an interesting element that could either be very, very frustrating or just a nice change of pace. I have a feeling that most people will find it very frustrating if, you spook off a shiny. But this was some of the newest stuff I've recently seen on Twitter. Wanted to share. Again, this is, to me, it's pretty important stuff because they're saying it's going to be a longer game. It's going to be a little bit more hardcore and challenging to actually complete. I appreciate that because one of the things, I grew up with like Pokemon Red and Blue, and the Pokemon games now, they just don't retain my interest just because they're so easy to get through, and quite frankly, it's been the same game for I don't know, almost 20 years now. Same game in terms of how it progresses and how it functions. There's been very minimal additions to the game. I mean, at the core, it's the same, but they haven't made it harder. If anything, they've made them easier, which, so be it. But I am interested in this. I hope it is a little bit more hardcore. I do think some of this open world stuff is maybe how Pokemon really becomes really popular again. Not that it isn't really popular, but I think what I'm kind of getting at. Maybe it's a more mainstream thing. If they could ever get to like a multiplayer version of this game where it's multiple people in the same world, I think that would be awesome. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now with leaks and rumors around Pokemon Arceus. I know it's coming out here pretty soon, next few months. So really excited for it. I'm sure we'll be hearing lots more news and leaks and rumors. So stay tuned. As they come out and as I see them, I'll try to get some videos out. But with that, thanks for watching, and hope you all are getting ready to play Pokemon Arceus.